Hey guys, so welcome to part 2 on how to solve the 3x3x3 Rubik's Cube. Now, if you remember, we left off with the cross, so now I'm going to teach you step 1 of part 2 on how to solve the 3x3x3, and that is inserting your corners. So first, let's go ahead and scramble our cube. Alright, so now that we have our cross, I'm now going to teach you how you insert edges. Now, this step is actually fairly easy. The concept of it might be just slightly difficult to, undertake at first, but it's very easy to learn and you'll eventually get the hang of it. So, a corner, as you know, has 3 stickers. And what we're focusing on is white corners because we're trying to solve our white side first. That's what we want to start with. That's why we made the white cross. So after we make the right cross, we insert our corners, sorry. So you're looking for corners that have a white sticker. So let's just start with this one. I see a corner that has a white sticker and a blue and red sticker. So that must mean that if you just use your common sense and intuition, that must mean that I have to put this in between a blue and red piece because that will be the only spot where it fits. So I'm looking for an edge because corners go in between 3 edges. I'm looking for an edge that has, or the blue and red edges. So here's a red edge, here's a blue edge. So that must mean that our red and blue and white corner must go in here. Now that you know where your corner goes, the slightly harder part is finding out how you put it in. So you can't just go like that, because if you do that, look at what it does. It moves your white and red edge out of position. So you can't do that. You can't do that because that would just mean that your corner isn't orientated right, and it moves your white and blue edge out of position. So what you have to do in this situation is you have to line it up over the side that it goes on. So I know it goes in between the red and blue, so I'm going to line it up above that and have the white facing me. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move it out of the way. So that's all you do. You just move it out of the way. If it's on the left side, you move it out of the way to the right. If it's on the right side, you move it out of the way to the left. So once we move it out of the way, we bring the spot up of where it needs to go, and then we move it back to its original position, and then we move it down. And look what it did. It inserts our white, red, and blue corner in between our blue and red edges. So that's what you have to do with all the edges. So here's another one. This is white, blue, and orange. So we know this has to go in between a blue and orange edge, or edge pieces. So we're going to be looking for blue and orange edge pieces, which is right here, blue and orange. So what we have to do is we have to line it up underneath the spot that needs to go and have the white facing us. And this time, since it's on the left, we move it out of the way to the right. And then we take this, we move it up, and then we move our corner back into its original position, and then we move it down. So as you can see, it has inserted our corner in between the orange and blue edges. So now we only have 2 more left. So we have one right here, white, orange, and red. Green and red. I'm sorry, blanking out there. So we have to find green and red edges, which is right here. Now, you may have noticed that with this corner, the white is facing up. So how do we insert this corner? Well, it's actually pretty simple. We just pretend like the white is facing us on the right side, so we act like we'd be moving it out of the way, and then move it up, and then move it back to its original position. But instead of moving this back to its original position, we move it 1 back again. So instead of doing a U prime, we do a U2, and then we move it down. And as you can see, it has brought our white sticker down into this top layer so that we can insert it normally. It's lined up where it needs to go. Move it out of the way to the left, move the right side up, and then put it in its original position. So now we have inserted the white, red, and green in between the red and green edges. So now we only need 1 more, which is the orange and green. Alright, so now we're going to be inserting this orange and green corner. So we look for green and orange edges, which are right here. So that means we have to align our green and orange corner above our green and orange edges. So since it's on the left side, we move it out of the way to the right, and then we move the left side up, and then we move our corner back into its original position, and then we move it down. So with that, we have completed our whole white side. So we move on to step 2 of part 2. Now this is probably where it starts getting trickier. So this concept, it's a little hard to learn at first. Probably harder to learn than the corner concept. So I want you to be paying attention, and I also want you to grab your pencil and paper and write down this algorithm that I'm about to show you. So what we do after we solve our white side is we want to try and get these 2 layers here solved. So as you can see, we have 1 layer, and we have our centers in position, which makes part of our 2nd layer complete. So what we need now is our edges right here to be in place. So that's where this algorithm comes in. So once you finish your white side, you're going to have it so it's facing away from you, so that the yellow side is facing you. And what you're going to do is you're going to look for an edge piece that does not have a yellow color in it. So this one has yellow, this one has yellow, this one has yellow, this one does not. So this is green and red. So we know that our green and red edge piece has to go in between a green and red centerpiece. So we know that this green and red piece goes right here. So there's a specific algorithm for inserting a green and red, or any edge piece. So once you find your edge piece with no yellow, you line it up, the top color, with whatever color it is. So if it's blue, you line it up with blue. If it's green, you line it up with green. And to line up, it'll look like a big T instead of a small T like this. So you make it so that it looks like a big T. And once it's lined up, you're going to do this algorithm. And you're going to have the piece on the top facing you. F prime, D, R prime, M, R. And once you do that, as you can see, it has put this green and red edge piece underneath this corner piece, which is what you want. And as you can see, it's messed up our white, but that's actually what you're supposed to do. So once you've gotten it to this position, you turn it like this so that the white is facing you, and then you have to fix your white. So what you do is you take the solved layer, the one that's 3 across, and move it down. And then you insert this edge just the same way you insert a corner. You put it over its position. You can move an edge out of the way to the right or to the left. It doesn't really matter. So you put it over where it's supposed to go. You move it out of the way. Then you move that position up. And then put it over where it needs to go. So I'll show that to you again. If you want, you can write it down as an algorithm. So I'll tell you an algorithm. U prime, M, U, M prime. So you can write that algorithm down if you want. Or you can just learn it intuitively like I showed you. So, now that we have swapped this edge with this edge, we now have our part of a completed section. And that algorithm I showed you actually does swap 2 edges. So, that's what makes it useful, because if there is a wrong colored edge that doesn't have yellow like this, that's in its wrong position, once we insert this, it will swap this out, so then we can continue to insert this in it here, and then we're going to have to take this out and reinsert it. So now we're looking for another edge piece that does not have yellow in it. So this has yellow, that has yellow, that is yellow, this does not. So this is green and orange. So we're going to go ahead and line up the top color, which is orange, with our orange side, and make a big T. So once we've made the big T, we then are going to do our algorithm and insert it in here. And by the way, if you're inserting from left to right, you do the algorithm that I just showed you, because the algorithm that I just showed you, we were inserting our corner into the right. So that was the left to right algorithm. So once the time comes up, I'm going to show you the right to left algorithm. But first, you're just going to have to do the left to right algorithm again, which is F prime, D, R prime, M, R. So then we have to fix our white again. So we move this solve section down, and then we insert this like a corner. U prime, M, U, M prime. And as you can see, it has inserted our edge into its right position, so we have another solved section. So now we're going to look for another edge that does not have yellow. This has yellow, this is yellow, this has yellow, but this does not. So this is blue and red. So the top color is red, So we're going to go ahead and line it up with the red side to make a big T. And then we have the left to right algorithm again. So we're going to do the left to right algorithm, which is F prime, D, R prime, M, R. And then we have to solve our white again. So we take the solve section, which is 3 across, move it down, and then we insert this edge like a corner. U prime, M, U, M prime. So that inserted our blue and red edge, but as you can see, we have our orange and blue that is flipped around, so it's not in the right way. So what we have to do is we have to take it out and put it in the right way. So I'm going to use this opportunity to show you how to do the right to left algorithm when inserting edges. So go ahead and get your pencil and paper, and I'll show you right now. So the algorithm is F, D prime, L, M, L prime. And now we have to fix our white. So we take the solve section, move it down, then do our algorithm. U prime, M, U, M prime. So, as you can see, it has taken this edge piece out, and then we can insert it normally using the right to left algorithm. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same algorithm that we just did, which is F, D, L, M, and L prime. So now we just have to do this solve section, move it down, and do our algorithm. U prime, M, U, M prime. So as you can see, that is solved each of our individual sections, and you have solved your first 2 layers. So you have completed video part 2. So in video part 3, it's probably going to be longer because I'm going to be covering all of OLL and PLL in the same video. So, and I'll explain what that means in that video too. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope you learned from it. Keep practicing this. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you guys in my next video, which is part 3, coming soon.